today, y'all. Tapping in today, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what this is. Been kept right the great. You know what I'm saying? The Nestle BT. He who has come and has risen and is the bearer of light. True indeed. You know what I'm saying? Always like to listen to this song. Y'all know what I'm saying? Priest is like my brother, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
the devil raised the bar, but I'm a hurdler. And I'm the good thief. I sneaky and toxic house the burglar. The musical Merkaba. James set free the Lucifer worshippers. Like James Bond 007, the soul of an old legend. Negative energy murderer.
Negative
good
energy
evil.
murderer.
Angel of demon interpreter. Keys with frankincense and myrrh. And perfumes anoint me soon as my breath occur. Like Ben-Hur, I'm indigenous to Gilgamesh. With brilliance became the builders of the pyramids. Now we lost in American North wilderness. I became the force, a poor man's ventriloquist. On the island far away from home like Gilligan. Took us from our villages until we find our way back through resilience and our diligence. Two rags and wave cats, black fist of militant, and college remembrance. While living ignorance, strive to keep your innocence. Dream fly limitless, straight towards the nebula. But can't ignore the teller. Black boys face, we all in this together. I chase demons in my cape, my sword and my scepter. His brother glowed the great, the Lord of his era. Royal priesthood, gold place and treasures. Anubis, my eye, where your heart against the feather. Cardi Satan out your soul, lifting the mouthpiece on the stretcher. With my divine helicopter, with shocking propellers. The outlines made of copper, the fortune teller. My dragon glows green like Masha, New York regalia. Like Robin Walker is the prophet Walter. From the days of Iron Sheik versus Sergeant Slaughter. Blew around my garment borders. Fringes, execute vengeance, mathematics, Qurans and Taurus. Rock the head of Horus, rocks in the watch is gorgeous. Muhammad will, and fell into the will, metamorph. Bags and wave cats, black fist of and college.
He said, rock the head of Horus. Rocks in my watch is gorgeous.
Dream fly limitless, straight towards the nebula. But can't ignore the teller. Black boys face, we all in this together. I chase demons in my cape, my sword and my scepter. His brother glowed the great, the Lord of his era. Royal priesthood, gold plates and treasures. Anubis, my eye, where your heart against the feather. Cardi Satan out your soul, lifting the mouthpiece on the stretcher. With my divine helicopter, with shocking propellers. The outlines made of copper, the fortune teller. My dragon glows green like Masha. Rock the head of Horus, rocks in the watch is gorgeous. Muhammad will, and fell into the will.
Let me listen to that again.
Spinning clockwise and counterclockwise. On the outside, my car became a...
I know they're gonna probably strike my YouTube channel for that, but Use Your Mind by Kai Zodiac and Priest. Yo, purifying the temple right now.
Yeah. Use your mind. Kai Zodiac.
Peace, everybody. Peace, peace. Peace, how y'all doing today? Y'all know who I am, and Kepra the Great.
Yeah.
Today, this morning, we opening up the temple to get it prepared and ready for the next 6 days.
86, the devil raised the bar, but I'm a hurdler. And I'm the good thief. I sneak in your toxic house, the burglar. The musical
Murderer. Set
free the
Lucifer
worshippers. Like James Bond 007, the soul of an old legend. Negative energy murderer.
Negative energy murderer.
Angel of demon interpreter. Keys with frankincense and myrrh. And perfumes anoint me soon as my breath occur. Like Ben-Hur, I'm indigenous to Gilgamesh. With brilliance became the builders of the pyramids. Now we lost in American North wilderness. I became the force, a poor man's ventriloquist. On the island far away from home like Gilligan. Took us from our villages until we find our way back through resilience and our diligence. Two rags and wave cats, black fist of militant, and college remembrance. While living ignorance, strive to keep your innocence. Dream fly limitless, straight towards the nebula. But can't ignore the teller. Black boys face, we all in this together. I chase demons in my cape, my sword and my scepter. His brother glowed the great, the Lord of his era. Royal priesthood, gold plates and treasures. Anubis, my eye, where your heart against the feather. Cardi Satan out your soul, lifting the mouthpiece on the stretcher. With my divine helicopter, with shocking propellers. The outlines made of copper, the fortune teller. My dragon glows green like Masha, New York regalia. Like Robin Walker is the prophet Walter. From the days of Iron Sheik versus Sergeant Slaughter. Blew around my garment borders. Fringes, execute vengeance. Mathematics, Quran's and Taurus. Rock the head of Horus. Rocks in the rocks is gorgeous. Muhammad will. It fell into the will. Metamorphosis. Start spinning clockwise and counterclockwise. On the outside, my car became a flying saucer. Straight to the orbit.
Purifying the temple.
Michael hijack the sun, Matt and Nate Thriller. Zombie apocalypse, a center for disease. Says my tracks are way iller. Ice and drilling pro cubes, keep it cabinet chiller. And thought the start, there it wasn't fake. Now I'm just power shot the flowers, make my oral a pick. You know the ledge, godly hour, pushing doors to the brick. You can't even close your eyes, become a corpse if you blink. With the oracle sick, I was born in the space. Copper DNA necklace with historical links. I'm poison in the food, in the water you drink. Cause they raised down the niggas violate time. Throw food the lost truth coming down in my mind. Stab you with a light ray cause you was dying to shine. Then I disappeared like a truth post in your IG. Holy Spirit dripping like a ghost in your IV. Can't afford it more, we was already here. So get in tune with the voices in the water right here. You don't see the embryo in the form of your ear. Invisible man, I made myself awfully clear. Royal priesthood, astrologies is Lord of the Spears. Throw platinum plates, you thought the flying saucers appeared. Yeah, they scared of where your face in the street. Deep elixirs, beast addicted to the taste of the shit. When every plot is real, God knew who raised my physique. God either way, even glory, the Arabian sheep. 7 circles like the planets and the days of the week. Supreme math, solar effects in the language I speak. Your brainwashed if you watching the news. Never make the wrong step when I lost my shoes. The green weaver make it seem there's no option to choose. Promoting dope fiends, they be trying to nod. They in line to get shot, that's a firing squad. Pharmaceutical, shoot to kill line with the gods. I cried for the angel babies that have died in the farm. Caught up in the crossfire, like a panther in the clan rally. Zodiac, they need these answers in my hands badly. They palm readers, break dancers in the sand valley. I moonwalk on chemtrails in the sky. On the path to ancient Kemet, where the scales in my eyes, the sun and moon temple sitting on the side of my head. A million years and still remember every line that I said. Hermes Trismegistus, survey statistics. 99 attributes of a law, 99% survival rate. Imagine the odds. You're the Neo, you're the one that made the patterns evolve. Another chapter to solve. Why did Saturn revolve? Spinal column, I am Almond, climb the ladder to Oz. Or the rocket to Nebula, planet of the gods. Use my eyes. Trying to fit these odd shapes in the box. Tetragram time tetra, see my face in the watch. Circle.
Tetragram time tetra, see my face in the watch. Peace, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Welcome into the opening of the temple. This has been Kemet the Great. I appreciate everybody that come in and tap into this live. You know what I'm saying? I got a few things I want to talk about this morning. I just purified the temple with a beautiful stick of sage. You know what I'm saying? Let the ancestors come in and bring their divine energy in and, you know what I'm saying, bless the temple so that the temple will be pure for the next 7 days and have the ability to bring more enlightenment people in, bring more, you know what I'm saying, creativity, intelligence, strength, beauty, you know what I'm saying, bring all of that energy into the temple, you know what I'm saying, speak into the water so that the water can transmute this energy throughout the universe like a stargate. Transmute the energy throughout the universe through water like a stargate. A lot of people don't understand how beautiful water is. Water is actually alive. It keeps you alive. And itself is a life. You can't be alive without something giving you life. What sustains you in life is water. Water sustains you. Oxygen sustains you. Oxygen and water Breathe in water, drink water. Breathe in water, drink water. The spirit of water and the flesh of water. Ashe, Ashe. We're going to give libations today to all of the kings and queens of Kemet who helped build such a beautiful civilization, built a civilization that was heaven on earth for our people, a civilization that was the most beautiful civilization that this planet has ever seen, the most beautiful monuments that this world has ever seen, the most beautiful people that this planet has ever seen. You know, with that beauty comes a duality. Like anything that is beautiful in this life, you have people who covet it and want it for themselves. This morning, we're going to give libation to the great kings and queens who stood tall in the face of those who sought to destroy their kingdom, those who sought to rob them of their essence, those who sought to destroy them. They stood tall in the face of all of that adversity and kept our kingdom going for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, based on the principles of Ma'at, of the heart and the feather, of understanding right, truth, and the reciprocity, justice. Today we honor the kings and queens who built a marvelous civilization for our people, built a civilization that has never been copied, built a civilization that spread throughout the whole planet. Every planet wanted to practice the Kemetic principles of Ma'at, wanted to be a protector of Ma'at. Balance of the universe is the most important thing. Without balance, there's chaos. And with chaos comes disorder. With disorder comes demons. With these demons comes trickery. See, when you put things back in order, the truth always rises to the top. King Menkaure the Great, Rameshu, Nefertari, Nefertiti, King Seti, Asar, Thutmose II, Sniferu, King Tahaka, all the great queens, Queen Kasadia, Queen Sati. I say we give our praises to you this morning, this rising, that we give honor and praise to Ra and Amun as they give us the life force energy of both negative and positive energy so that we can continue to move within our left and our right feet and move forward and travel upon this planet. Continue to give us the strength that we need to move forward throughout this galaxy and throughout these eons. Ashe, Ashe. I appreciate everybody tap in today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be here in the temple. I got some work that I want to strive to do, you know what I'm saying, with self, you know what I'm saying, of building up self and mastering of self and knowing thyself. You know, that's why it says on the temples, know thyself. You know what I'm saying? Always understand that self can be improved. But it's a story I want to share with you today. It's about my crown. And it's a very, very revealing story. And it's about something that just recently just happened to me not too long ago. And I felt like I wanted to share it because what I learned from this experience was very, very, very important. And it's about, digging deeper within self, man, so that you can bring them jewels up out of yourself and not be afraid of change. You know what I'm saying? I live in the spirit realm majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? After, you know what I'm saying, after really tapping in to my, divine side, I felt like it was time for me to really tap into myself and understand what direction I wanted to go. And I wouldn't call it a fork in the road because I've always just been on one path, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? This is just what you see is a manifestation of my path. And I had walked inside of a store and I had saw this crown in there. And when I saw it, I felt like it was a gift from the gods, that they was handing me something. You know what I'm saying? Something that I felt that was long overdue to be resurrected. And when I first got the crown, wow, I was like, wow, you know, let me design it and this, that, or whatever. But the energy that I put into it when I first got it was a bit sloppy. It wasn't at its full potential, you know what I'm saying? And I felt that the energy that needed to be displayed had to be stronger. So I was like, man, I need to find me another one, but the gods I couldn't find one. So one day being careless with it because I didn't value it to the point that I felt like I needed to be valuing that. And mind you, I had just got into it with one of my comrades because I had gave one of my comrades a piece and he had it just laying around. I had to remind the comrade how much time and effort that I actually put into making that piece. And that to me, that piece was sacred to me because it was something that was made out of my woman's energy, my family's energy, the universe energy, our historical energy, and our ancestral energy. That's what I put into my pieces. I put all of that energy combined as a representation of my family. So, me being careless with the crown, while coming to the temple one morning, being it was in a bag, it snapped. The Uraeus, the cobra, the negus snapped off of the crown. I immediately panicked. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man, you know, the ancestors, they give you something, but if you don't take care of it, they will take it away from you. And I had felt that they had taken the crown away from me because I was being careless with it. Something that was really, really dear to our ancestors, something that had built up a whole house for our people was relative to this crown. And even though I knew that the ancestors had blessed me with it, I also knew that if I didn't uphold it, the ancestors would take it away. If I didn't put my all into it, they would definitely take it away. And that's what they did. You know, one of my queens, she says that, you sometimes you be fully in and then sometimes you be fully out. And I had to sit back and think about that when she told me that. I thought to myself, I was like, wow, what would make her say that? You know, I thought I was always fully in, but you know, it's okay to take criticism from people because words, you know what I'm saying, have meaning behind them. And sometimes people can observe you from outside and see things within you that you can't see because all you see is out of yourself. You can't see everything that is surrounding you, whereas they can. So when she said that, I said, okay, boom. You know what I'm saying? I need to stop over here and just focus fully on the path. So I end up fixing the crown enough where it was wearable. But I knew then, right then and there, that this could never be again a representation of the kingdom because it was incomplete. And it was only incomplete because I was incomplete. If I didn't put my all into what I believe, I didn't get 100% full results from it. And it will be taken back away from you. You know what I'm saying? I was at a story I told my daughter, you ask mommy and daddy for all these things all the time, but when you get them, you lose interest in them. I said, you have to be just as happy with maintaining what you got as you was in asking for what you got. And that's very, very important. I learned that. You have to be just as enthusiastic once you receive the gift as you was in asking for the gift. You know what I'm saying? We ask for a whole lot of things in life. And then when we get it, because we've got it, we feel like the chase is over. Now all of a sudden, we don't want to put the same amount of energy that we was putting in it when we was asking for the gift, praying for the gift, wanting the gift, needing the gift. Because it felt like in having that gift, it would make us complete. But once we get the gift and realize that the gift is still within self, now all of a sudden, we don't want to put the same amount of effort and time into it because the euphoria is now gone. So once I received my new crown from the ancestors and remembering that pain and hurt of understanding that a gift was taken from me because I wasn't honoring it to its full capability, I realized something. Put your full energy into it. So what I did was, once I received the crown, I immediately built a home for it where it couldn't get damaged, couldn't get harmed, would be safe, free from being broke or anything. Once it leaves my head, the crown immediately goes back into this box that I made for it. Then after I built that, I immediately took the crown and I wrapped it in 24 karat gold. And I wrapped it in 24 karat gold because I knew that understanding that gold is the flesh of the netters. And being that gold is the flesh of the netters, why would I cheapen what our ancestors have given to me? Why would I cheapen it? So I immediately wrapped it in 24 karat gold. I immediately put the lions and the jewels around it. I put all my resources into it because I felt like this gift that I've received, it must be glorified. Now that I have it, not let me just put a little bit of my energy into it. Let me put all of my energy into it, all of my resources into it, everything I have. So you see the difference? That was a message from me to you, to the ancestors, is that when you receive gifts from the ancestors, when you receive your gifts from the ancestors, Put your all into it. Don't put a little bit, put your all into it. Put everything that you have into what you believe, all the gifts that you received. This place, this dominion that we live in is a wishing well. Everything that you ask for, you will receive. No matter what the scope, no matter how high it is, you will receive it. By speaking into the water, speaking into the universe will give you back what you put out. So that's very, very important in life. And I really wanted to share that story with you because it was kind of a traumatizing situation for me, believe it or not. And, I had felt like I had let the ancestors down. But the duality of things is that it wasn't a letdown to the ancestors. What it was a reminder from the ancestors of how important what you represent really is. What you represent is very, very important. Our ancestors, what we've built is very, very important. We can always rebuild the kingdom. We can always rebuild ourselves. But when we receive that gift again, are we going to remember how sacred that it is? Don't take it for granted. Putting our all into it. Not being ashamed of who we are, where we come from, and what we represent. And that's across the board of all humanity. You get what you ask for in this universe. Will you be able to receive the gift and maintain it? Stay happy for it just as much as you was when you received it. You know, life is beautiful. I hope you wake up this morning, this beautiful raw morning on Sunday, and just bask in the glory of being alive, of having life. Because it is precious, it is beautiful, it is magical. There's no such thing as overpopulation. All of us are unique, divine, and have infinite potential. Infinite potential. We all have infinite potential. We just have to ask for the gift, receive it, and be thankful for it. I'm thankful for the ability to manifest things into existence. I don't ever want to take that energy for granted. I don't ever want to take that energy and downsize it or cheapen it. I don't ever want to take that energy and just be careless with it. You know what I'm saying? I want to make my ancestors very, very proud of this energy that I pushed out into the universe through all the obstacles that we had to accomplish just to get to this very moment. The slavery, the genocide, all of that is a part of our history. The pyramids, the temples, the inventions, all of those things are a part of our history. It's the thin line between being a king and a slave. A very thin line. So once the universe grants you with the kingdom, understand that just in one instance, it can be all taken away from you. It reminds me of that movie called Ben-Hur. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. It was either Ben-Hur or another movie. But a man that was you know what I'm saying, considered amongst his people, sent off to a foreign land and became a slave after living the whole life as a king. Went somewhere where his people didn't respect him, didn't praise him. Just like that, his whole reality changes because he wasn't thankful for the gift that he had received and he had took it for granted. Be thankful for the gifts that you receive. Don't take them for granted. Polish them up. Because just in the instant, if you don't take care of it, it can be gone. You know what I'm saying? So, life is beautiful. There's all kind of things that's going on right now in the world, where they're talking about what's below the pyramids in Egypt and talking about, how the pyramids wasn't a resting place for our ancestors. They want to, one of the main things as far as their propaganda towards the people of Kemet has always been to either make the men mere mortals or downsize who they were. By saying that the Giza Plateau wasn't a resting place for our ancestors, it's very, very troubling, because the whole kingdom itself is a resting place for our ancestors. Regardless of whatever machinery that was there, all that machinery that was there was all sacred. All of the tombs, all of the temples, everything, the mirrors, the pyramids, they were all sacred. And they all had meaning towards, developing Ra's kingdom. Ra's kingdom is the greatest kingdom that we've ever seen on this planet. The golden kingdom of Kemet is the greatest empire that we've ever seen on this planet. And, it saddens me to see the state that it is in now, as one particular time being the beacon of light for the whole planet. Now you have religions such as Islam and Christianity, who on a round the clock basis work towards oppressing the real truth of the kingdom, taking the stones off of the kingdom and using them to build other religious monuments. To me, is blasphemy. You are not an Egyptian if you do not practice the principles of Ma'at. You are not a Kemite if you do not practice the principles of our ancestors. And for far too long, we've been asleep. And we've been sitting here watching these foreigners, destroy our kingdom. I was looking at a video yesterday, and I didn't even know that in front of the pyramids, there was a beautiful temple that you would actually walk through that is send you straight to the front of the pyramids. And I just thought to myself, like, wow, that place was beautiful. What a beautiful kingdom to build. And just to see the hate and the pure disrespect for it now, it's just saddens me. But the thing about duality, you understand that, everything goes to, a low, mid, I'll say a high, a mid, and a low point in life. And with that understanding, you understand, like, okay, Our kingdom rise, our kingdom fall, but it doesn't mean that our kingdom can't rise again. That we can't work from this day forward towards rebuilding that kingdom, towards influencing it right back into existence. Because as you see, without Kemet, the world is lost. We're in a constant cycle of war, a constant cycle of bloodshed, because there is no peace on the planet, because there is no harmony on the planet. The only reason why man is constantly going to war right now is because man is lost. He's completely lost himself. He doesn't really understand how high of a being he can be. Kemet was a healing center. It was a way for people to have the best food, the best quality of water, and the best air on the planet. It was a very beautiful place that worked towards the structure of restructuring man, restructuring woman, restructuring the planet. That was our sole purpose. Becoming one with the ancestors who came before us, honoring them. Now, look at society. We can do better than this. America can be better than this. The world can be better than this if we refocus our attention on not killing off the populations of the world, but purifying the populations of the world. That's, you know what I'm saying? Somebody said they keep messing with the pyramids. They don't know that pharaohs wrote curses on them tombs and they keep bothering them. Well, they're already cursed. If you look at the majority of the people that keep going inside of the tombs, they already are cursed. They're already cursed people. But the thing about it is this: why do they keep pushing and messing with the pyramids? You know why? Because they have an objective. The objective is the same one that was in the Bible, is to discredit the founders of this planet, to discredit the founders of bringers of light. See, as long as you don't understand where the truth actually came from, then I can sell you the lie. I can sell you that, you know what I'm saying, this is the greatest country man has ever seen. I can sell you that lie, because instead of you going back to understanding the principles of Ma'at, you're following the 10 Commandments. And in following the 10 Commandments, what happens? You're still not getting a proper understanding of life. So now we're trapped in a life where we're constantly over consuming and throwing things away because nobody's fulfilled. Everybody's bored and not entertained with this life because it's plain. And we're still looking to Kemet for some kind of knowledge that's going to be able to set us free. That's why it's so important. Because everybody know that the foundation of this planet is with the foundation of Kemet. Always has been. So of course they're going to keep going over there messing with it, because they can't help themselves. No matter what they keep building, they keep still looking towards the east and comparing themselves to what we built. Keep trying to find knowledge from what we built to help them on their journey of rebuilding the Americas. People still looking to Kemet for light. People still looking for Kemet for energy. People are still looking to Kemet for the truth. Because everybody already know that that is the original way of life. It was a kingdom based off of balance, not deception. Based off of the feminine and the masculine energy of the universe. Understanding that in order to create energy, you have to combine the two. You have to have negative and positive. You have to have feminine and masculine. Not feminine fighting against masculine, but feminine connecting with masculine. Producing energy that sparks and brings forth life of electricity, in which all animals and all living things need in order to survive. That is the principle of this planet and always have been. And we've built temples that people could go to educate themselves. That's what the Temple of Amun is. It was a temple built towards the education of man so that when man comes out of that temple, he will know thyself. And once he knows himself, then he understands where his place is in the universe. Majority of the people right now do not know their place in the universe. They don't know where to go. They're still searching for that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of themselves. It's a lot of technology that we use to heal ourselves. So that's why you keep seeing them going over there to Kemet. They can't help themselves. They have to keep digging for the knowledge. Because when you look at a civilization that had reached the heights that Kemet reached, you can't help but want to emulate that. You can't help but want to, covet that. Which is why you have, the Africans that built that nation over here now and was used to build this nation. When you go back and you look through the text and you look how the nation of Kemet was built, America was built the same way. Through the fields, through planting, through agriculture, through medicine, through technology. All of those principles come from just understanding the script. This is nothing new. This is a rerun, but it's a poor version of it. And the reason why it's a poor version of it is because they still don't really want to give credit where credit is due. You see all the Masonic temples and all the Masonic lodges that want to give homage to Akhenaten, want to give homage to, Menkaure, want to give homage to Ramesu, want to give homage to Seti. All across America, you can find all of these different manuscripts, glyphs, carvings, all across the whole, United States. But when it comes to actually honoring the netters, they don't want to do that. They want to keep the spirit dead. Why do you want to still keep the spirit dead if you know that the spirit is what gives the people life, energy, abilities? That's why the world is so in disorder right now. But this is a natural part of the universe. That's what I really want to tell you. This is a natural part of the universe. Set also get his drive to rule too. And that's what he will do. He will consume the energy of this planet. He will use the energy of this planet to keep his war and campaign going on. If you ever get a chance, you know what I'm saying, I would tell people to go watch this movie. It's called Gods of Egypt. It's a very, very, very beautiful movie. If you understand duality, if you, beside all the Hollywood cinema and stuff like that, but if you actually look at the principles of what that movie was actually trying to teach you, with the awakening of Heru and the fighting against Set and the constant battle between the two energies of the universe of both negative and positive energy, you will start to see that, wow, the universe is still playing out the way that it's supposed to play out. And that empires that fall will rise again. Energy that fall will rise again. It's really just that simple. So that's why you see them over there in Kemet, because they know that that empire will rise again. It's too big of an empire that's still standing to this day, that still can be rebuilt with proper man work and everything. Kemet still can be rebuilt still to this day. The same way we can move rock and stuff like that, we can still move rock and stuff like that over there. But see, what the thing is that the religions of the don't want to accept the truth that the original religion of this. So big, powerful men who have money and stock Christianity and Islam and, you know, other faiths, they all tie themselves back to the land of Kemet, but don't want to actually give Kemet its proper due and praise. They want to tell you man is wrong, even though it's man who builds everything. We are who we've been looking for. We're not waiting on some Jesus to come back to us and save us. We are the Jesuses. We've always had the true proper understanding of what life is. The true proper understanding of what life is what? To survive, to reproduce, and produce the kingdom for our peoples. We can rebuild order back on this planet, but it has to start with going back home to our original way of life, not Islam, not Christianity, but being in service to Ma'at and understanding that without balance, there's chaos. Without balance, there's chaos. She is balance. Who's Ma'at husband? Thought. Thought is balance. The masculine energy of the universe and the feminine energy of the universe. Thought and Ma'at. Balance. With that energy, you can build any kingdom on this planet. See, I was always taught as a 5%er that it was my duty to make knowledge born. It was my duty to teach the 85% who they are, where they come from, and where they need to go. It was the 10%, the bloodsuckers of the poor, who want to keep you ignorant to your own true divine self. Keep you ignorant to who you truly are, so that you can't build up the kingdom for self. There's only been one way of life on this planet, and that are those who are the followers of Ma'at, those who are the protectors of Ma'at, those who sit in the temple and learn from thought and manifest heaven on earth. keeping peace and brotherhood and sisterhood as a priority of the family. This is how you build. We have to go back to the original way of life. We have to go back to Kemet. We can't keep following these false religions. They haven't got us nowhere but war and underdevelopment. Nobody, no kingdom has ever reached the heights that Kemet has. No kingdom has ever reached the height that Kemet has. Somebody said Kemet enslaved people. Christianity enslaved people. Islam definitely enslaved people. Kemet didn't enslave nobody. America was great with slavery. That's who was great with slavery. They enslaved the Kemites for 400 years. That's a part of the Bible that nobody really wants to talk about. But we're going to talk about it today. People want to talk about the Bible and Genesis and Revelations and things of that nature. But what they don't never want to talk about is that the same people who actually brought the Bible were enslavers themselves. They were enslavers for 400 years. My people have been enslaved over here. Their tombs in Kemet have been ravaged. Their jewels put in museums. Their bodies put on display. There was never, ever a museum in Kemet that displayed the bodies of other civilizations' ancestors. What we represented was a connection with the universe, a connection with the stars. We're not talking about this, that, or whatever. We're talking about actual now. The people try to say that the people of Kemet had enslaved people and used them to build up the pyramids. But what they won't tell you is that those people weren't enslaved and that there's an honorary burial system for them at the foot of the pyramids for everybody who helped build up the mers of Kemet. They won't talk to you about that. They won't talk to you about the fact that the people of Kemet were revered and honored across the whole world. The only people who received punishment in Kemet was foreigners. People who wanted to come to our land and practice a different faith. People who wanted to come to our land and influence our people to rebel against their king. This is what you read when you read inside of the Bible. You read about the deceitfulness of people who sought to destroy the kingdom of Kemet. People don't want to talk about that. People want to talk about all the gold, the treasures, the mummies, the stones that they stole up out of the land. And then people want to teach you now that human beings are bad people. No, the people who teach you that human beings are bad people are usually the bad people. The same worshipers of Jesus was the same worshipers of everything that Jesus spoke against. Evilness, deceitfulness, that is still being practiced today. No, Christianity did not come from Kemetic mythology. Christianity came from the worshiping of killing the African man, the drinking of his blood, the murdering of his family and his children. Christianity is the religion of Set. That's what they don't want to tell you. The same people who give you your way of life now is the same people in the Bible that murdered Jesus, murdered the son of their God. That's what's not being taught. This is why Christianity is falling now, because what happens is the truth will reveal itself. And the same people who come and bring you Judaism and Christianity are the same people who came and enslaved, murdered, and stole. All of those documents of all these high priests and all of these documents of all these so-called Christians, they just came in the name to steal. That's all they did. They just came to steal. Steal the riches of the righteous people. Steal the bodies out of the ground. Claim that it's a discovery. We just discovered something else in Egypt. Another pharaoh. Let's put his body on display and show off his jewelry to the world, while secretly praising him in the Masonic halls and in the power theaters of the planet. You know, I get what you're saying. I understand your gripe. I understand what you're saying. That, you know, the sun is sun worship, Christianity, no, it's not the same. See, words have power. Asar's name was not Jesus. Mekepra the Great name was not Jesus. It was Mekepra the Great. It was Thutmoses III. It was Asar. It was a Set. Words have power. If I come and I take your knowledge and I change the name, it's no longer the same. Even though it might have what you consider to be similarities, it's not the same. See, the Jesus story was actually crafted to turn people's mind away from the original story. I understand about the 12 zodiac signs and being in the constellations and heavens and things of that nature. I understand that completely. But you still have to go back to the original source. We can't call Egypt Egypt. We got to call it by its original name, Kemet. Once you change the name of it, you take the power of it, because spells have power. If I say something and it comes and it has to have the power and the word behind it, it's called Kemet. It's not called Egypt. It's called Kemet because Kemet has power. Egypt doesn't. Egypt is what you see now. The dirt mountains, the temples, and ruins. That is Egypt. Kemet is what you saw before that. That's good that you don't follow the practice of Christianity. The practice of Christianity is vampirism, straight up and down. When you're sitting there eating of that man's flesh and drinking of his blood, you are participating in a ritual of suppressing, participate in a ritual of suppressing the energy of the Nesubiti. That's what you're participating in. That's the energy that's being displayed every time you go on the Sunday and worship a dead man on the cross. We don't worship the dead, we worship life. That's what the Ankh is. The Ankh is life. That's the real cross. Why you think they took the cross of the Ankh and put a black man's body on the front of it dead? That was a symbolic message. That message was, we want that energy dead. We want that energy dead. We don't want that energy throughout the world no more, which is why you see the people over there in Egypt not rebuilding the monuments, not restoring the monuments, actually taking away from the monuments and using that energy for capitalistic nature. Come to our museum. Even though we don't worship these people, we know that the whole world does. So come to the museum and worship the image of Ra's son and Ra's daughter. Come worship the energy of these people, even though there's a mosque right down the street. We don't worship them, but we know you do, and it's going to cost you $89 to step inside of this museum. Our energy and our people's history has been put on display for all the world to see what Set has done to our people, calling us ancient, as if our blood that built all of these monuments still don't flow through our veins today. Call our people primitive while they still try to figure out what we did. The thing about it is that you have to see through the fog. You're not ancient. You're still here today. You're existing now. My jewels ain't ancient. I ain't never seen gold become ancient. When did gold become ancient? Gold is still valuable now. How can gold be ancient? How can a man that wears gold not be revered? What is this, all this ancient talk? We are ancient. The pyramids is ancient. This is, and they still can't figure it out today. How is that ancient? I'm not talking about taking it with me. I'm talking about me existing now. It's with me now. The jewels is here now, not yesterday, today. It only took us 3 generations to revert back to ourselves. When I manifest myself again, I'm going to have the jewels again. Understanding, man, energy can't be created nor destroyed. Why you think oppression is so prevalent in America when it comes to African American men and women? Why did Trump get on board on live and say that the days of being woke is over? Trump is lying. We are way more woke now than we'll ever been. We know that the church is not where it's at. Christianity, Islam is falling. It can't compare to the truth of Kemet. I'm not talking about a Bible. I'm talking about a kingdom. Those are just pages on the book. Let's talk about the actual kingdom that was built. See, hate, man, when people can only deny greatness for so long, and people can only pour so much dirt on you for so long. See, people forget, but the truth always rises to the top every single time. It's not by mistake that African Americans are starting to excel at rates and heights that nobody's ever seen before. This is the true understanding. You have to get back into your own divine self. It's not about me. Me, I'm already where I need to be for me. Where you need to be for you is where you're going to be at. I've already mastered self. I've already gotten to the point where I don't care about what people think about me no more. Only thing I care about is how Ra feels about me, because that's the relationship that I have. I have a direct relationship with my Father. I'm not looking for your acceptance. I'm just here to spread knowledge to those who want to listen. That's it. And rebuild the truth and make knowledge born. That's what the kingdom was all about. Knowing thyself. Because once you know yourself, man, is outside frequencies become irrelevant. The only energy that matters is your personal connection with your ancestors. And are you feeling like you're doing the right thing for them? We got to stop worshiping the dead. And start worshiping life. When we were slaves, we behaved as slaves. We did things that slaves did. We did everything that we had to do to survive to the next generation. We did everything we needed to survive to get to the next generation. We were stripped of all of our knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who we are, stripped of our kingdom, took it off of our continent and took it to a whole new continent, built that whole continent up off of the sweat, blood, and tears of our blood, giving the worst food, the worst shelter. We went through our hell. Heaven, hell. And we're still going through hell. How do we get ourselves out of hell? See, if I were to sit down and write some chapters on the voyage of the Commission people here to the Americas under the enslavement of Set, what would that story tell of the 400 years of slavery and bondage that we received, living in the complete opposite of our existence? Going from living in the kingdom of heaven to living in the kingdom of hell. Murdered, brutalized, sodomized, raped, tortured. What would it read in those books? The books that are being written today about these people who were taken to a distant land and made to build up a kingdom for Set. What would the pages read? What would it speak on? Those pages are still being written still to this day. They want to hand you the Bible about somebody else's suffering for 400 years and make you forget that you just suffered for 400 years. Make you forget that you just suffered for 400 years. Then them same people come to you and tell you that the only way out of your misery is through the Bible. No, the only way out of your misery is through yourself, of understanding yourself, knowing your history, knowing where you come from, who your great, 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 great grandfathers and grandmothers are. Who brought knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to civilization? Who taught people how to write? Who taught people how to make paper, how to make chairs, how to make tables? How to make golden idols? How to deify yourself? How to put the power back in you and not sitting around worshiping a dead man on the cross. See, when you want to keep a person deaf, dumb, and blind, you got to have them worship the dumb, deaf, and blind. You got to have them worship death. You got to have them worship dumbness. You got to have them worship being blind. That's how you keep them in a state of paralysis, of no elevation, no growth. You got to keep them worshiping things that don't bring life. And even though they get mad, even though they get upset at the truth, you still got to give it to them. I know it's hard. We've been going to church our whole life, looking at that man, Jesus, hoping one day he was going to come back and bring us back life. But why would the people that enslaved us for 400 years, want us to have any kind of redemption. It's like a sick, twisted game. And every Sunday it keeps getting sicker and sicker. You had a pastor that came out the other day and locked his whole congregation inside of the church because he needed $40,000 so that he can continue on his verge of accomplishing all the material things that he wanted for himself. See, me, I make my own jewels. You know why? Because I satisfy myself. If I wanted something, I make it for myself. And there's nothing, that any man that, deems himself to be divine wants to put the energy of gold on it. Any man. I don't know too many men that don't like gold. So I did it for myself. I revered myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with revering yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, they're going to continue to hate, knock the noses off of our faces, smite us. You know what I'm saying? They're going to continue to hate. But what I want you to know is that you can't stop what it's meant to be. The energy of the universe always balances itself out. And just the mere fact that I'm sitting here talking to you today is proof of that the universe will always balance itself out. You can only oppress a people for so long. You can't hide the energy of the Nesubiti forever. We will rise back up and reclaim what is ours. Might not be in my lifetime, might be in the next lifetime. But what is meant to be will always be. That's a fact. So, you got to come over here. This is where the energy is at. The true understanding of who you are, the balance that you possess. You are both a good and a bad person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let them tell you that, all man is bad. That's a lie. Man is made of both being good and bad. That is a personal choice that you have to choose within self. Do I want to be positive or do I want to be negative? I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and when I started talking to them, automatically it was coming off negative. But I kept pushing positivity, telling the person how much I admired them for the things that they have taught me, unknowingly that they had taught me that. Confidence. You know what I'm saying? Understanding of self. I changed the conversation that was negative to completely positive. By the end of the conversation, the person was telling me how much they had missed me. We're going back into the stratosphere of positivity again. No longer will we sit around on Sundays and, drinking the blood and eating the flesh of our dead ancestors. Sundays are days to represent Ra and the energy of light and life and be happy about that. Not worried about the things that we done did for the last 6 odd days and feeling bad about. No, man, we are beings that are made of both negativity and positivity. Now, I'm not saying go out there and just do all kind of negative stuff, But just know and understand that everything that you do will be done to you. So if you feel like you want to go out there and do that negative thing, just be expecting that same energy back. And when it comes back, don't start crying. Take the energy, accept it, and move forward. Accept whatever penalties come with your actions, just like we have as a whole kingdom. I accept the history of my ancestors. I accept all of it, the good and the bad of it. So being I accept the good and the bad of my ancestral history, I'm at peace with that. I'm at peace with me. That's important. You got to be at peace with self. Be kind and gentle to self. That's very, very important. Knowing and understanding your history, man, to take a lot of the burden of life off of you. We don't go to church every Sunday to repent. We go to church to get closer to our ancestors. And that we can continue on with what they were striving to do, what they were striving to build up, which is order. Not chaos, but order. Our people right now are in complete chaos. We have to get back to order. We have to get back to knowing thyself, accepting our history, accepting who we are, where we come from, not being ashamed of that. That's what Christianity has made you ashamed of who you are. You're ashamed to say that your people were for Kemet. Yet you want to put the pictures and stuff like that in your wall. I know you black folks that go to church every Sunday. As soon as you go in their house look like an Egyptian museum because they know the truth. We are a great people, beautiful people. There ain't nothing on this planet that we can't do accomplish. You just have to walk in that light, walk in that image, knowing and understanding who you are and standing on that, regardless to whom or what. I see y'all out there, yo. I see all the beautiful Kemites out there. I see you on your pages shining. You know what I'm saying? Rocking your jewels, doing everything that you like to do. I see all of that. And it's cool to acknowledge the glyphs, but you gotta follow the script. You gotta follow the script. Let's continue to keep building. Let's keep moving forward. Let's not be ashamed of who we are, where we come from. We are not Israelites. We are not Christians. We are Cometians. We are the protectors of Ma'at. We are the followers of thought. We are the balance of the universe. Peace.